Hello everyone, I'm Mikko and I love gaming, and this is Melty Blood Actress Again, current code, which is a little bit of a mouthful. Like I mentioned in the previous video, Melty Blood was at least one of the games that a few years back I looked at like screenshots of, and for whatever reason it just didn't appeal to me, and I just kind of sort of decided like, nah, I'll just stick with the kind of fighters I know that I'll like. But not long ago, like what a month or so, I came across on a video of Mortal Kombat X, and yes, it's X, not 10. It didn't specify that. A mention of like a game already using the sort of variance system where you can choose a version of a character you wish to play, and this was the game that had it. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it is time to give this a try. I was already of a much higher opinion of Doujin fighters, and if I haven't explained that term, but I think I have, it's essentially the Japanese indie scene. Just that's the term that I always heard for it. So, but yeah, so decided, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try, and as it turned out, I really quite liked it. So figured, hey, I'll play some on the show. So, like, I think one of the pretty much the issue that I had with the first view of the game was the main character, whose name I won't try to pronounce. But like, yeah, she's a girl with a blouse and a long skirt. It was just like, okay, where's the appeal? And that was foolish of me because, like I said, and now that I've given it a little bit of a try, I've mostly just been in a training mode, just trying out moves. But I actually there are a lot of really solid characters in terms of like moves and mechanics that I quite enjoyed trying out, and some of the, like I said, like the main character looks a little bit bland at first glance. There are a lot of like schoolgirl characters. There are oddly enough a few variations of like the maids in different configurations. But I think this is like the base one. And has like two characters you can switch around, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why there's a freaking GB Nego version of the main character, but there's also a dark one. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it has a fairly large cast, and even though there are a few like mirror characters, like here's Scion, and then there's the Dark Scion. Same thing with the main character and couple others. But really, when I was trying these characters out, I was like, man, how am I gonna choose which one I want to play? Because a lot of these had really nice moves, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty fun. A lot of good variation, and like each character has 3 variations, so it was like, okay, in addition to choosing a character, I now have to choose which version of them I'd like to play. So I turned to my bro for a suggestion, and he thought that Archetype Earth was the most visually appealing, so I'm going to go with her. After trying out her styles, I decided to go with Crescent Moon. There are also a lot of freaking color variations. There are like 36 total. And yeah, it's just recoloring of a sprite, so it's not super hard tech to do, but it's still appreciated if you don't just want to have your personal favorite that you want to use. I'm gonna stick with the base one though. And yep, it's in Japanese because, Japanese game. But I actually do appreciate they have voiceover for this. Now granted, this is quite a few games into the series. I have no idea how many of the game this is. But, it's still a pretty nice touch to actually have voice acting in it. Yeah, in regards to like what do the different variations do, they change up a few things. Like pretty much everyone gets at least like one specific move per style, or certain moves work differently. Some of them even like change their normals. So no, not this character in particular. I don't think any of normals change the style, but yeah, as you can tell, she's pretty much a zoning character. Although I still like getting in there and comboing them a little bit, but just for variety's sake. Thor looks a little awkward. And also, it changes up a bit how your meters work. Like, some of these variations are based on, like, sort of a rage style. If you fill up the meter and then it's full, and then it, like, starts counting down, and during that time you can do supers and shit. But I generally don't tend to enjoy those, so I figured I'd just stick with a half Crescent Moon, which is usually just a basic super bar. I'm a lot more comfortable with it. Oops, that was the wrong super to use there. There's pretty much every special has an EX version that eats up 100%, which is kind of the super bar, but it goes up to 300%, which I think they could have just dropped the percent there. It would have made a little bit more sense, but I guess 100% of an EX. And it's a simple system, and it works for me, you know. Hopefully the sound still isn't too low. I may have turned it down a bit excessively, because I tend to want to avoid having my voice just disappear. Oh, darn. Up. I think I was in the range. Up. Too far. Yeah. Alright. Ah, darn it. He's a grappler. Get away from me. Like I mentioned, he's a very zoning heavy character. He has a lot of tools for it too, but I'm just usually I'm not a big zoning character player, so it's actually a bit of a change of pace for me. Uh oh. There we go. Bit of a change of pace for me to play a character like this. And talking about like different versions of characters that I mentioned earlier, this is basically a version of the main character, but like sort of I get using the wrong specials here. Sort of a subconscious personality he has going on. Not super clear on all the specifics, but that's info that I found at quick glance. Alright. Here's my guard. Get away from me. Ah. Oh, that was close. There we go. In addition to EXs, everybody has like a super, and like at least some versions everybody has like when you activate the rage and then you do your super, it's going to be a stronger version of it. But from what I was trying out in the in trading mode, I don't think this particular version of Archetype Earth has that. So I might be wrong, but it just seemed to be the same move. I'll see about using it at some point. It just sucks up a lot more meter. And the EXs, and the EXs are pretty effective. Yes. Ah. Like a combo. Let's see. Darn it. Ah, darn it, my wind thing faded. You just swipe at her. Yeah, I think the super eats up like 150%. So half of the entire super bar. Yeah, she can apply really heavy pressure from like a distance away. It even has like a forward moving anti-air that you see there. So it seems like a really powerful character. I may have picked a really OP one and I just don't know it. But that's just life. Oh, let me see if I can do my darn it, that's really subtle that right in here. Nope, did the wrong one. I was still in the air, I guess. It's half circle, so it's a little bit iffy on my D-pad. And I couldn't quite seem to set this up on the keyboard for some reason, and it was a little bit hard. But it controls pretty well, like, considering it's just a D-pad. The arcade mode is a little bit long, so this will definitely end up chopped into pieces. There are bits of dialogue and stuff in here, so I think I have to see about if I can find a translation for it at some point, because I actually do want to find out what's going on. Like I mentioned previously, like I am interested in the story mode of fighters, even though I am of the mind that, you know, the core experience is the fighting itself. So essentially, like, even a fighter that didn't have any story could still be a good game, so long as the actual gameplay stood up, but... Oh, jeez, I did not expect that. There we go. But I always appreciate it when they go to the effort of including story. And, stuff like Mortal Kombat and Injustice, I really appreciate they went to the bother, because, again, they wouldn't have to. I don't know how many, people would have been like, I don't know, man, it doesn't have much of a story for this game where they mindlessly beat each other to death with gore and shit. Like, Street Fighter doesn't have much of a story mode, which is that is actually a little disappointing to me, because, you know, it's such a big franchise. You'd think, like, hey, catch up with the times. Like, yeah, no story was perfectly okay, like, back in the 90s, but other developers up their game. How about trying to catch up? Darn it, I can't. Can't seem to do the super. Like, the D-pad is a little bit iffy on certain motions, and 180 is a little bit unreliable. Or maybe I'm just botching it to completely. I'm supposed to activate her boosted mode or something, and I keep forgetting that. Maybe. Haven't spent that much time with the game. Like most of my videos, it's almost first impression. Sometimes that is literally the first time I picked it up. I really shouldn't get too close every time, because I seem to be paying for that. Ah, darn it, I tried to activate the, as you can see, it leaves a little air trap there. Up. That's not what I meant to do. Oh dear. Ah. There's also like a parry button, but like that, but oh, that was close. But like I mentioned previously, I suck massively at parrying. And with the... Darn it. I'm forgetting I shouldn't do that. Ah, darn it. And keep getting in on me. There you go. My awkward throw. There we go. And launch it further. Ah. Up. Nope. Yeah, maybe we never will see the super. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to learn to live with it.